So, good day everyone. Now, let's proceed to our next topic. It's all about the barriers of effective communication. So, communication is as important in expressing ideas and building relationships, but it is often blocked by the different barriers. These include language difference and physical problems like noise or distance and psychological factors such as stress or lack of attention. In cultural and perceptual, different also lead to misunderstanding, while poor organizational structures and negative attitude burden weaken communication. Then, to achieve the effective communication, it is important to minimize these barriers by being clear and respectful and attentive. So now let's proceed to language barrier. Language and linguistic ability may act as a barrier to communication. However, even when communicating is the same style, the terminology used in a message may be a barrier if it's not fully understood by the receiver. For example, a nurse or a doctor referring to common colds as upper respiratory tract infection may not be understood well by a patient. So, language barrier are obstacles to effective communication that occur when people do not share the same language, or when the difference in vocabulary, accent, and grammar, expression, and create means misunderstanding. They can happen between the speaker of different language, example, English and Tagalog, or even with the same language due to dialects and jargon and then the slang. So this barrier make it difficult to clearly understand the message, leading to confusion and misinterpretation or even the conflict. For example, a student might struggle to follow a lesson if it taught in a language they not fluent, or employees from different countries may miscommunicate at work due to language difference. In short, the language barrier limits the free flow of ideas and information, making communication less effective and sometimes is possible without the translation or clarification. So, yun yung language barrier. So next, the psychological barriers. A state of the communicators will influence how the message is sent, received, and perceived. For example, if someone is stressed, he or she might very impatient, which could affect how they send and receive message, resulting in misunderstanding. So we have the examples here on the picture, causes of psychological barriers. Then the psychological barriers are obstacles to effective communication that came from a person, thoughts, emotion, and attitude and mental state. Unlike the physical or language barrier, these are the internal and depend how people or think during the communication. For example, stress or anxiety because a nervous student may fail to express ideas clearly. Then example then, lack of confidence, someone may avoid the speaking up and even they know the answer. Then papasok din dyan yung prejudice or biases, as a listener may ignore or misinterpret a message because of personal dislike toward the speaker. And emotional and disturbance that cause anger, sadness, or excitement can affect how messages are sent or received. In short, the psychological barriers affect the understanding because they distort the way message and deliver, received, or interpreted. And overcoming them requires emotional awareness and open-mindedness and positive attitudes. So, yun yung psychological barriers kung saan may pwede mag-cause ng emotion, attitude, and mental health like a stress, lack of confidence, prejudice or biases, emotional disturbance. So, sa atin, karaniwan na ito nangyayari, yung pressure, yung anxiety, then yung nagiging emotional natin sa time na tayo ay nalagay diyan o nandun tayo sa pangyayari ng psychological barriers. Next, the systematic or systemic barriers. communicate happen in a workplace or structure where there are disorganized or incorrect information system and communication. Channel or lack of understanding of the roles and responsibility for communication. Individuals in such workplace may experience the confusion of their role in the communication process. So these are the obstacles that came from the structure, rules, or system within an organization, institution, or society that prevent smooth communication. These barriers are not about the personal feeling or psychological or language different by rather about how the system itself is organized. First, rigid rules and policy. These are the example. Too many procedure can delay or block message. Ito yung halimbawa na dito, sa isang opisina bago makarating ang mensahe sa pinuno, kailangan munang dumaan sa maraming tao, kaya nade-delay o nagbabago ang impormasyon. Next, yung mahigpit na patakaran. Dito din papasok yung kapag masyadong maraming rules or restriction, nahihirapan ang empleyado na makipag-usap o magpasa ng impormasyon. The third one is the kakulangan sa malinaw na daluyan ng komunikasyon. Halimbawa, walang official or group chat or bulletin board kaya't hindi lahat ng empleyado ay nakakatanggap ng parehong anunsyo. Papasok din dyan yung hindi maayos sa organisasyonal na istruktura. Kapag magulo ang pagkakaayos ng tungkulin sa isang kumpanya o paaralan, nagiging sanhi ito ng kalituhan sa kung sino ang dapat lapitan o kausapin. Last na example, sobrang formalidad sa komunikasyon. Kapag ito naman daw, kapag ito naman lahat ng mensahe ay kailangan laging nasa sulat o memo, mabagal ang daloy ng impormasyon. So, yun yung systematic barriers. So, next, the physical barriers is the natural and environmental situation that hinders the sending of the information from the sender to the receiver. Defects in media destruction in the environment, distance and physical disability. Technology problems and noise are the parts of the physical barriers. So, the physical barriers are is an obstacle that came from the environment or surrounding, which prevent people from effectively sending or receiving a message. Unlike the psychological or systematic barriers, these are the external factor that physically block communication. For example, in physical barrier, we have noise kung saan ang maingay na lugar like construction site, crowded room, kung saan na pumipigil sa malinaw na pagdinig ng mensahe. Next, distance. Malayo ang pagitan ng nag-uusap kaya hindi marinig o maintindihan ang sinasabi. The third one, the poor equipment. Ito naman yung mahinang signal ng cellphone, sirang microphone o static sa telepono. And how and closed doors or wall hadlang sa linaw ng boses o pakikipag-ugnayan. Siyempre papasok din diyan yung bad lighting or visibility. Ito naman daw 'pag madilim o malabo ang paningin, mahirap makipag-usap gamit ang body language o facial expression. In short, the physical barriers are external and environmental factors that disturb the communication then it can usually be solved by improving the setting like reducing noise, using technology properly, or arranging a better space for communication. So, yun yung physical barriers. Next, attitudinal barriers. An attitude communication barrier is a behavior or perception that hinders people transmitting information effectively. Accusing or thinking someone having a bad attitude who might as well be an attitudinal barrier in your workplace and is an example of attitudinal barriers. So these are the obstacles that came from a person, mindset, behavior, and then the attitude, which affect how they send or receive a message, unlike the psychological barriers that focus on emotions, and attitudinal barriers are more about habits, perception, and personal traits that create resistance in communication. So we have an examples here, the attitudinal barrier, lack of interest, ito naman daw yung kung wala kang pakialam ang kung walang pakialam ang tao sa usapan, hindi siya makikinig ng maayos. Then, papasok na din siya yung negative attitude kapag sarado ang isip o may ayaw na sa kausap, hindi siya tatanggap ng impormasyon kahit tama ito. Resistant to change, halimbawa na dyan yung empleyadong ay tumanggap ng bagong sistema dahil sanay na siya sa luma. Overconfidence or arrogance, kapag ito naman daw iniisip na isa na mas magaling siya kaysa sa iba, hindi siya makikinig sa suhestisyon. Then papasok din yung poor listening skill, kung palagi ini-interrupt ang kausap at hindi nakikinig ng buo. Yun yung examples ng attitudinal barriers. So in short, the attitudinal barrier are caused by the way people think and behave, making communication ineffective. This can be reduced through mindless respect and willingness to listen. So yun yun. Pasok dyan yung lack of interest, negative attitude, resistant to change, overconfidence, then poor listening skills. Now, let's proceed to avoid the communication breakdown. So we have become an engaged listener. So effective communication is more about listening rather than talking. Listening means understanding the emotion and what the speaker wanted to communicate. When you listen very well, you can hear the subtitle or intonation in someone's voice, understand the other person, and make him feel heard and understood best. Building a stronger connection between the two of you. We have examples here. Focus fully on the speaker. Do not interrupt. Try to set aside judgment or bias. Show your interest in what is being said. Then giving feedback. So, yun yung become an engaged listener. So, becoming an engaged listener means actively focusing on the speaker, showing interest, making an effort to fully understand the message. Then, it is not just about hearing the words, but also about paying attention to tone, emotion, and nonverbal cue, like gesture and facial expression. An engaged listener practices active listening by maintaining eye contact, nodding, avoiding distractions such as phone, or side conversation. They also give feedback by asking questions or paraphrasing what the speaker said to show understanding. In short, becoming an engaged listener requires concentration, respect, and empathy. Empathy. When you listen attentively, you build a trust, strength, relationship, and improve in communication. So, yun yung becoming engaged listener. Now, let's proceed to the second part. Next, be attentive to nonverbal signal. You send a message through words, gesture, and body language. These include tones of facial expression and silent eye contact, hand, arm, and legs posture. The way you look and listen, move and react to another person tell them more about how you're feeling than words alone, even ever can. First, we have be aware of individual difference. People come from different countries and culture that they tend to use a different nonverbal signs in communication. Then we have considered the nonverbal communication signal as a group. You need to pay attention to all the nonverbal signal you receive, like eye contact, tone of voice, and body language. So these are the attentive to nonverbal signal. So, being attentive to nonverbal signal means paying close attention not only to the words spoken, but also the body language, gesture, tone of voice, and facial expression. These nonverbal cues often carry deeper meaning, can even reveal the feelings or attitude that words alone do not express. For example, a person may say, "I'm fine," but there is slouched posture, lack of eye contact, or sad tone of voice might signal the opposite. By noticing this cue, we gain a clearer understanding of the real message and can respond more appropriately. In short, the attentiveness to nonverbal signal helps us become more effective communicator because it allows to understand the emotion, build empathy, and avoid the misunderstanding. So, yun yung Be attentive to non-verbal signal. So that's all for today. Uh, so now our topic is all about the effective barriers. So we need to kailangan nyo siyang aralin para mas maintindihan nyo kung ano ba yung gustong iparating na effective barriers. So that's all. Thank you.